Alright, so this morning I'm going to get some practice in. I'm practicing for the World Championships right now, which is held at the end of April. We're close to it. It's like the 16th through the 20th, so it'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you're in town, swing by there. You can check it out. Definitely something pretty cool. Anyway, today we're just working on muscle memory. You know, I might not throw perfect all day today, but we'll see how well we do. That's the whole purpose, is to be somewhat consistent all the way through. So I don't know about these targets on the left right now. I just drew those targets because this one's getting a little beat up, and they're a little smaller too. But what I'm going to do is the center board, we're going to work our way down, and then of course that other one's kind of busted, so we're going to go for that bottom right one, and then the second board over, we're just going way up. Just basically work our way around it. Now these bullseyes are about inch and a half roughly, so we're going to see what we can do, so we can get some practice throws in. Now, if I keep that same throw all the way through, even better. You know, it's side to side, left to right. I've got to really pay attention to it because, like I said, they're only an inch and a half. A little bit of movement can make a world of difference. Height and release, everything makes a difference. Everything like that could cost you a game. So, see, just like that. We're low, probably. I don't know, about half an inch. So let's try it one more time. This time we're going to release just a little earlier. Now the head turned. I clipped it, but the head turned. I like to try to get them dead center if I can. But finger placement, anything like that can make a difference. To the right. So when I say you're moving to the right just a hair, you move to the right just a hair. It doesn't take much. Like I tell most folks, I was like, you think of anything that's a trajectory target. On my end, when I'm looking at a focal point, if I'm looking to the, trying to move it and I'm hitting to the left or whatever, and I tell myself, okay, I got to move to this way because I'm hitting this way. If I say, okay, well, I'm gonna move this way a quarter inch. Well, 12 foot at a quarter inch, by the time you get to the other end, I mean, you're over almost 2.5 inches. So, like I said, any movement I make here, I mean, even if it's micro, by the time it reaches 12 foot, that trajectory, it's actually moved over an inch or so. So whenever I'm moving my target and throwing, same way. Like my hand changes, that elbow breaks sideways just a hair or just a little bit of a twist. I mean, you could be off a lot by the time it gets there. So, like I said, I've got an inch and a half bullseyes to play with, but which ain't a whole lot. It's not a whole lot to play with, but you can get it time. Just a nice fluid throw. You can do it over and over. It's just some of these levels that you get in. These guys, like I said, we could go perfect all the way through it, and then the actual Like that kill shot over here on the right, it's got a little 1/2 inch bullseye inside the 1.5 inch bullseye. So like with it could come down to that on the kill shots at the end, and somebody could shift over just enough and split that down center, and you can lose by a point. You can be sent home packing real quick. But so, because anybody could sit here and, you know, hit these bullseyes, especially in the pro division. That's where I've been sitting at, and you can sit there and be pretty consistent. Like, you know, you get a couple 5s in there, but like I said, if you get somebody when they're throwing fire that day, good luck. See, like that, send you home. Let me see if anybody's on here chatting. So, nobody's in here right now. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, anything that's with this, you've got that precision has to be dead on. And it's even the same with knives. Like when we're out here and we're throwing knives, we're throwing at the same target, 1.5 inch bullseyes. It's worse for me. I'm outside, so whenever I'm out here and the wind's blowing, I have to fight all those variables. If I get hot, but that happens inside of a building as well, other than the wind. Trying to loosen up a little bit. We just had some coffee. Dogs chilling on the porch. We're just kind of keeping those muscles worked, because if you stop for a while, sometimes it's hard to get it back. But it's all fluid. You just want all the throwing just the same, and that goes for even any other ones. I mean, like, there's different throwing in other organizations that I throw out of, and I keep my consistent throwing in the same pressure, the amount of speed. Everything can change the way an axe hits or sticks, anything. Knife. Like in my mind, right now the wind's blowing. In my mind, I tell myself I got to throw harder. That's not the way to think about it, because what's going to end up happening is while I'm trying to throw harder, it's actually probably going to make it worse in the long run, because I'm getting out of my flow, my cycle. If that makes any sense to anybody. So, but like I said, the World Championships is in a week. We're just trying to get everything ready to go. Probably because I'm chatting. I was out here last night throwing, and I felt good. I felt confident, but it's like any sport. Some days you got good days. There you go. Some days you got bad days. Could be a pulled muscle, tight muscle, loose muscle. Any of that can affect it. For people that don't know, throw darts. You know what I mean? Same way with golf. If you're not fully stretched, you don't make a full swing. Baseball's the same way. Same way with throwing. If those muscles start tensing up, your whole thing goes out of whack. You'll start pulling to the side or pulling to the left, or you get fatigued. You don't tend to hit the right side with it. So like I tell most folks, I said every movement that you make matters. It's got to be fluid. So the right. I don't know if it's the wind. That's the downfall is I don't know if it's me or the wind. There's this place we used to throw at. It was called Angry Wood. But anyway, they would have that was the well, it was Got Wood axe throwing is who would host it, but it was Angry Wood. It was the event. We'd be out there next to the lake, and I mean, you could be throwing perfect. Wind come, all of a sudden that thing's like a foot off, and you know, last time the wind was fairly consistent, so I had learned how to use that wind, and it would push. I'd throw it to the left, it would push my knife or hatchet over into the bullseye. So I was like, if it stays like this, we're good. But today, it's not constant. It'll be hard and it'll stop. But I just throw. I try to not change much because I know that it's there when I'm throwing when it's not windy. So, but as far as like the consistency, I just try in my mind think about that. In the comments, if you've been axe or knife throwing before, did you like it? Did you love it? If it's something that you've ever been interested in, you know, you're welcome to comment. I can send you to where you need to go for the most part. There's different organizations. So even if like this one here that I'm practicing for is not in your area, you know, you have IGTOF, you've got Blade Aces, you've got Aim Games. There's a couple other ones I've been seeing on TikTok, which is really cool, like throwing clubs, things like that. And that's what's kind of cool. If you can kind of get to know everybody that's in every organization, they get to know you, so forth. But you can learn different techniques. Like I can't throw no spin for nothing. I've always done rotational, so when it comes to throwing no spin, I tend to want to flick my wrist just because I've been so used to it. I'd have to tie a board or something to my back of my finger or an arm. Keep kind of shifting that focal point over just a little bit to the left. That way, if it does blow a little bit, maybe I can get the bullseye. We are hanging consistently to the right, but that's been like that off and on all week. Change this up a little bit. Trying to twist the axe head just a little bit to make it so where if it does hit, it'll hit at a kind of have an angle is what I'm trying to do. So I don't know if you folks can really see these dots. I try to get it to focus in as best as I can. But I also kind of show everybody how easy, like you don't have to throw stupid hard, but then again, you know, my hatchet is stupid thin. Like if I was to mess around and, you know, tap my leg or whatever, you know, this could lance you open in a heartbeat. But I know TikTok's probably like, oh my God, but I'm not particular about that. Like I said, if you're watching this and you're an adult, you should know how to work around sharp objects. It's gonna hurt. But yeah, you just kind of get here, I'll show you. This might fall out. This is still a sharp blade. We're going to throw out one of these the ones over here. These are 3/4 inch bullseyes. That board, I have not wet it, so it is pretty hard. But let's see if we can cut it. See if I can even hit it, for one. But I will show you, even on a hard board, how something like this could more. It might fall. We're going to go for that center one. I hit a knot. It's stuck in the knot. So if that tells you. Got one more time. Like I said, this is the 3/4 inch bowl. Oh, I hit it and it bounced out. I knew that was probably going to happen. But anyway, but you see, you get basically the way I'm throwing. It's nothing hard. It's not, you don't have to, chunk it. This target over here, that's an aim gauge target. That's on the right. This one here is not even a regular target. This is just my practice board. This one on the right, you actually, the goal was just to step back to toe it in to where I would get in just the color of each one, including the bullseye and the center one. But I did it with my tomahawk. That was made for that. Like I said, this one here I'm just working on moving around. And then muscle memory. Dog's chilling on the porch. He's sunbathing. He's red. I know he's already getting warm. I'm trying to stay more on TikTok here lately. I don't know why. I think eventually I'm going to try to see if I can steal followers from TikTok, send them over to the Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram, I try to keep it strictly about axe and knife throwing. My Facebook, there are some political stuff on there. I mean, I'm human, just like everybody else. I hear everybody that's like, oh man, I don't get into that. And I try not to, but when it affects my living, and then I have to say something. If everybody just tuck their heads, then we'd be ruled by, a king or whatever. So, but aside from that, my Instagram, I try to keep it strictly axe and knife throwing, and reply, with my sponsors. They are great people, good organizations as well. I'd like to get into more trick shots. I think that's kind of fun, but I compete so much. I try to focus more on the actual gameplay of what I'm doing, just because I don't want to try to mess around too much, because I want to stay consistent, if that makes any sense. All right, who do we got in here? Got a few people that passed in. Oh, we had Mac and them in here. Oh man, so there's a few guests that were in here. We got Mac Stoughton, really good thrower. He's a world champion in a different, I believe, Ichtov. We got Doug. I think St. Douglas, which was, I think, his Fords in the Crossroads. He was in here. Another good thrower, up and comer thrower. Started to figure out things, and seems to be a natural. So, and that's the thing. Everybody can be. Everybody, like I said, you could not know that you're good at throwing until you start doing it, and then it's just natural to throw. I make a joke every time I see somebody that does really good at any aiming sports, anything like that, and I say, well, your ancestors must have been hunters. If you're throwing and it's just natural to you out there, then I'm like, oh yeah, it's in your genes really good. Now, if you're throwing and it's hitting the ground, then your ancestors are probably gatherers. So that's my little joke on that. But like I say, we're just chilling. the birds were out a lot earlier, and I could sit here and listen to them do their deal. Who we have in here? Can I get this thing to focus any better? It's not going to do it, is it? So, got 19 likes. How's that happen? All right. See if we can stick the tail end of this in. See if we can get a bullseye. Oh, it was there. I was trying to. All right, let's see who we got. We got 11 people in the chat. We've got only 19 hearts. Ha, 19 hearts. All right. Like I said, these are 1.5-inch bullseyes. We're just working on muscle memory and technique. That's it. It's windy outside, so it's not going to be consistent. You'll be surprised how much this wind can blow. The axe or hatchet. It probably doesn't help that I'm chatting. Because usually I'm focused. I'm just, dialed in. Most everybody, they know me because, if I'm in a lane or anything else like that, I'm dead silent. Outside of that, I'm a talker. So, just when it comes in when I'm playing, I try to just strictly focus on what I'm doing and breathing, and then my hand placement every time. Because like I said, anything can change the trajectory of this. Because like I said, at 12 foot, if you're that much off back here, by the time it gets 12 foot across, you're an inch off or better. Going to the right again. It's either I'm throwing to the right or the wind's blowing to the right. But I think I'm throwing it to the right. Usually it's either the elbow or I'm coming out. I will sit here, and when I'm throwing, I break down every throw. Like if it happens over and over and over again, I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Am I coming out? Am I doing this? Am I getting fatigued? Kind of like that. Usually when I'm focused, I'm dialed in to what I'm doing. It's not that bad, but like I said, in a high stakes deal, when you're playing with other folks, it's when you're playing online against other high caliber throwers, people who have been doing this as long as I have, that 5 could bite you. So like in my opinion, I try to aim for perfection to get it perfect every time, to consistently just smoke it. And then my other part is like the breathing, everything else, that all has to coincide. But so we're doing hatchet right now. I might be on this afternoon with my knives because I have to get to practicing for those. We are a week away from the World Championships. It's going to be on ESPN. It is on ESPN every year. You can go to YouTube and you can type in World Axe Throwing League Championships and see where it's been hosted in Atlanta. It's been hosted in what's the other one? Wisconsin, but I can't. Appleton. Then there, Tulsa, different places, but it's something you can go to. You can see what it's about. You can see people throw, and it's a good time when you're having a good time. Not such a good time if you're throwing like crap. Like that's my thing is I want the day that the tournament happens, because like I said, everybody's got their good days and bad days. My goal is my wish and goal is on that day I'm throwing a good game. I'm on point. I'm hitting what I'm aiming at and just with the flow. So, and that could happen to anybody. I've seen some of the best throwers in the world go into a tournament and boom, you're getting knocked out quick. And then it's like, what happened? Who knows? It could be that, that day you're just not throwing right. It could be anything. Like I said, muscles, just not focused enough, over-focused, believe it or not. Like if you sit there and you're overthinking about it or you're taking too long, that's why I always say you want to practice on something that's fluid. Like if you're sitting there and you're throwing and you're like, all right. And the longer you wait, you're holding that axe up. You're going to start wiggling around. And that little bit, like I said, can throw you off. You're doing that, or you overexcite yourself. And then next thing you know, you're like, snap! And then you throw it, and then you're like, either too high or too low. You don't want that. You want to where you can just walk up. You're like, okay, watch me miss this. You just walk up, everything's all game, boom, back. Sure shit, I missed it. But anyway, but yeah, it's just, you just want that nice fluid throw, and that's what I try to aim for every time. That way it's natural. You're not overthinking anything. But that's the goal. That's the reason why we're doing this. Like I said, I haven't practiced this hard since 2023. And it's been since I opened up my other company, because I have Only Axes, which you can find them on Facebook. We sell apparel, stuff like that. Honestly, I haven't really even sold much anymore. It was a fad, kind of went down. Did some other stuff, but we still keep it, and we still have fans that's with it, and they still go in and order, which is fine. That's what gets me to tournaments sometimes too. And then, of course, I opened up my excavation business. So I've been focusing on it a lot because that is my bread and butter. This is my fun deal that I do. You spend money on this, but in excavation ain't nothing cheap. I just spent a shit ton of money on a brand new trailer and everything else with it, and but it's just one of those things. Got to spend money to make money. So, but I have to focus myself. Right now, I'm focusing on this and my business. So right now, I'm at tour in between. But that's only for another week. Like I said, once we get done with the World Championships, whatever happens there happens. If I do great, that's even better. If I do bad, it's not so good, but still fun. Because like I said, in that situation, you are throwing against some of the best throwers there, and if they're on their game, you can have a good day and you can have a bad day. But afterward, then I'm back on my grind. Let's see what we got. Yes, sir. Richard Campbell. Got a few people watching. Only got 24 likes. All right. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and end this live. Whatever, if you are watching this, maybe I'll do a highlight reel. If you're in here, I'll post it. I do usually try to post my highlights of the live, just so other people can see it, watch it. And if, like I said, if you're welcome to go over to Instagram, you can see Jimmy Throws on there as well. And that's what I always tell most folks. So you can go over there and visit, check it out if you need to. But for the most part, thank you for watching. Thank you for being on here. This is basically like what I do for practice. And yeah, so if you're ever in Tulsa this next week, come by the Wee Street Center, which is the hockey rink there, and you can watch some professional knife and axe throwers in action. So thank you for watching.